This is my Porsche 911 and it has a huge problem.
Oh my god.
That sound means that this engine could blow up at any second. So today, we're gonna attempt to pull it out and fix it and hope nothing goes wrong. And there's a pretty good chance it could go wrong because I've never done anything like this before. And if it does go wrong, we're screwed because I don't have any money to buy a new engine. The first step in removing an engine, really from any car, is disconnecting literally everything that runs from the engine to the body of the car, starting with the throttle cable and throttle body.
Next, we're removing the AC condenser. We're leaving this in the engine bay, and the first step is these bolts.
Taking the bumper off now, starting with this little top cover thing, and then we'll move down. This is a lot of steps. I'm really glad that I found a guide that I can follow for this, because otherwise I would be lost.
Holy. Got the club going up on a Tuesday.
Ah. Ha! Did that one. We've now graduated to below the vehicle.
We're gonna be back up close.
We'll be up, down, left, right. On the underside of the car, there are a few trays and braces we have to remove, along with draining most of the fluid from the engine. None of this is super difficult, but we have to make sure everything is out of the way, or we could cause some serious damage to the engine or the car trying to remove it, which I really want to avoid.
Oh my god. Jesus, that hurt so bad. It just got so sad. We just have a few more things we have to disconnect, like these oil lines and the transmission mount, and then we can actually get the engine out of the car. We're getting very close. The sketchiest part of this job for sure, but also, yeah, like the hump that we have to get over, and then it'll be engine work time, which is also sketchy because we don't know how to do that.
The engine has to come out if we want to repair this because we believe the sound is coming from chains inside the engine that keep timing. Over the years, the plastic that keeps them in place gets torn up, and if they fail, the motor explodes, which I really don't want happening.
Ground unstrapped.
Once it's all disconnected, we need to super carefully and slowly lift the car up away from the engine and keep an eye out to make sure nothing is still attached or snagging.
Jackson is currently undoing the transmission mount.
Holy crap, that's loud. I need earplugs and a bigger impact.
Now all that should be left is to get the two bolts that go to the motor mounts, and then we have to still disconnect these two lines that were giving us a problem earlier. And we should be able to get the engine out of the car. Are you ready?
Man, I'm as ready as I could be. Alright, you're fine there.
The car does not look good.
Even with the engine outside of the car, there's still more disassembly to do. Mainly taking the massive exhaust off. And with everything major removed, we can move on to the next step, which is cleaning. The engine, as far as we know, has never left the car, so it's disgusting, and this is the perfect chance to give it a clean. So we're spraying a lot of degreaser on and pressure washing it all down.
it's still dirty, but it's way less dirty. There was pounds of gunk on here. There still kind of is, but we got some more disassembly to do, but I want to let this dry out as best we can before we really start messing with it more. This is a very dirty engine. 200,000 miles and some off-road use will get you dirty.
Now, in order to do all the stuff we got to do with the engine, we have to take the transmission off. Also, while we have the transmission off, we're going to replace the clutch, because literally, why wouldn't we? It's such a free time to do it. Probably one of the only times we'll have this out, I hope. So I'm going to try to get this transmission off now. Seems to be just a bunch of bolts around the edge of it. Hopefully, it's easy.
Now you're about to watch me do something that I don't want to and don't know how to do. That is, I'm going to take this valve cover off, take the cams out, and replace the timing chain guides. This is really stressful because if I mess any of this up, the car will blow up the second we try turning it on.
Several different special tools we're going to use during this process.
I found the original workshop manual for the 996 for building the engine, doing all this stuff, and now I'm using it. I'm going to follow these fancy factory instructions to see if I can get this all apart without destroying everything. This is a really, really, really complicated process. Many engineers did many, many years of thinking that went to this engine to make it work exactly how it works, and if I do any of this wrong, it won't work that way. But I'm gonna do it. Step by step, we're getting really close to removing this first valve cover gasket. There's still a couple of more things I gotta do. This right here, you need to get some M8 by 30 bolts and then thread them into place. That holds the end of the cams down, because when you take this off, this is part of the thing that holds the cams in place as well. And then we're gonna have to install these bad boys, which also hold the cam down. They'll go here and here, and then we'll be able to mess with things. I got everything to a pretty good point, but I need another special tool that we don't have because, you know, Porsche. Now, we have to do something else that we're doing, which is deal with this bad boy for 2 reasons. And we're gonna show you that after we get the first reason off, which is this clutch. It's old, it's got 200 bajillion miles on it, and we got heavy wheels and tires on this thing, so it's definitely seen better days. So we're putting a new OEM clutch in. Nothing crazy, but it should help make this car drive even nicer. That, my friends, my friendleman, new word I've invented.
I like it.
There's a f***ed up clutch. What happens when you let Jackson drive your car? He doesn't know how to drive manual, I taught him.
That was so funny.
And they got the clunch.
Chocolate clunch.
Captain Clunch. Heavyweight flywheel. All right, it's time to take out the camshafts. I found out I need a specialty tool. I don't have that specialty tool, but what I do have is this rod and this angle grinder. Now, I have the specialty tool. And now using the tool that I totally cut the first time, and definitely not the other one, my tool worked flawlessly the first time. Now I get to take the cams out.
This specialty tool holds the tension that the chain usually has on it, which allows us to actually take the chains off.
I hated every second of that. God, I hated it so badly.
We might have actually just saved our engine. We did this at probably the exact right time. This is the guide, and you can see it's missing sections here. They were literally falling apart. So if this had been in there for too much longer, we probably would have had plastic and the guide would have fallen apart and then the chain would have not been where it's supposed to be and bad things would happen. It's a real good thing that we're replacing these. That is so bad.
There's grooves in it, it's missing the end of it, and this is the new one. Shiny, nice. The new O-ring is in here, and now I can just sloop this back on here. With the timing chains, yeah, slooping it. So, while I'm working on this, I just remembered I need to do something on the actual engine. So this is on pause right now. Currently, got the chains marked. For these new chains, you have to mark where the discolored ones are because these line up with these little dots on the cam. I feel like I'm giving you away like secret sauce right now. This is just factual stuff. I don't know why. But I got to replace the timing chain guides on the main chain, which is this thick boy over here. I gotta replace the guides while this chain is off. Super easy, actually. Let me show you.
As you can see, one of the bolts is behind the clutch, which is also why we had to remove the entire assembly, not just to replace it.
Exit. It's got a little bit of bruise on it, but not too bad. Not too bad. Wow, so it's like the perfect 996 turbo.
With the cams back in, we can make a new gasket and reinstall the cam cover, one very specifically torqued bolt at a time, and then move on to repeat this process on the other side.
Got the valve cover right here, painted well nice. Now we're taking off the cam covers.
Look at that, the valve cover is back on, and now I'm putting some spark plugs in, some fresh ones, because the old ones look nasty. And that will hopefully be better. I'm also gonna put the coil packs in. We're getting this engine ready to go back into the car, but there's a lot we gotta do still. This is just step number one.
This is now ready to come off. I've set top dead center for this bank because every 2 rotations of the main crank is 1 rotation of each cam. So now these are on their top dead center, which is where you're supposed to time them at. I've got the holder tool that holds the cams in with the cam cover off, and then I can put my other holder tool on there. And now I have to start taking the actual cam cover off. The only confusing part about this is this side, it's very close to the headers, and I don't know if it's gonna come off with the headers on, but I really hope it does because apparently taking the headers off in this engine is the worst possible thing ever. The opposite wear on this side, actually, the top shoe, it's a lot worse than the bottom shoe, but neither are breaking apart, which is a good sign.
Oh, that's fair.
Thing off the engine, another time. Another thing off the thing. All right, Jackson's done on his phone call, and now I can take out the timing chain guides. This is the bottom guide. Replacing these bolts as well. Oi. And I think it's gonna be the boss thing. Red Tiger with butter. It's so friggin' good.
Have you ever put butter on a Pop-Tart? If you haven't, then I think you should.
Even though the engine is theoretically good to go now because we've replaced all the internal stuff, we're not done yet. We have the engine out, so we should probably do some things that we can only do while the engine is out. Such as this right here. It's an air oil separator, and we're at the back of the motor, and apparently if the air oil separator goes bad, you have to drop the entire engine to get to it. Now ours probably isn't bad, we haven't had any problems with it necessarily, but it's literally right here. So I ordered a new one and we're just gonna replace it because honestly, I would be really sad and I'd cry myself to sleep if this broke the second we put it back in and I'd have to drop it again. New air oil separator in, and now we can move to the next thing that we can only do with the engine out, which is the flywheel. Well, we probably could do it with the engine in, but it's so much easier with the engine out. And we've got an upgraded flywheel.
Before we put the flywheel in, actually we have one more modification that Jackson forgot about. I'm trying to walk here, but there's an engine. Turns out I can't phase through objects, but what I can do is show you this. This may just look like a car part, and I guess it is, but this is a plenum from our friends at IPD. And IPD is known for making plenums for Porsches that make you way more power. Porsche Plenum Power, baby. It replaces this dinky, non-flow optimized piece of plastic here that takes the air from the throttle body and puts it in the engine. Replaces it with this. Look, it's got a little dimpling in it like a golf ball. This is a nice piece right here. We should probably gain like, I don't know, 20 horsepower. I may be overestimating, I don't really know. But it's nice, it looks nice, and IPD is a great company. Sounds better, looks better, and makes more power most importantly. This is a nice piece right here. If you want something like this for your Porsche, check them out in the link below. And now I'm gonna install this, and hopefully it'll make some more power. Combined with that lightweight flywheel, and all of the tightening up that I've done around the engine, this thing's gonna feel like a beast. To make my life way easier, I'm just gonna pop this out of the way. I don't know if this is doable with the engine in, so don't quote me, but it's gonna make this way easier to install. I might have slightly forgot to hit record, but the plenum's in. Sorry.
Now before we put the new clutch and flywheel in, I'm on the transmission side, and I'm just replacing the fork because FCP Euro supplied us with all this stuff to replace all the things that are in here. Why not? It's another thing that could go wrong, and if it goes wrong right after we put this all back together, I'll be mad. Welcome to the engine side. The transmission should be all set now. I did struggle with it, and now we got to start putting stuff back together. Originally, this car came with this really, really heavy dual mast flywheel. See how thick that is? Probably good to replace it while we're in there. We're replacing the clutch anyway. But we want to go sportier, and you know, spinning heavy stuff is not so ideal. So we got a lightweight flywheel. It's literally half the weight, probably. Oh! Yeah.
That was me carrying the old one.
It's like more than half the weight less. What this does is it'll make the car rev faster, which is cool, and better for performance. So we did have it flipped, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I'm not gonna say that the engine is perfect because I truly have no idea, and we'll have no idea until we start the car, but I think it's time to put it back in. So we have to put the transmission back on. Will's got these new transmission mounts in. I'm gonna pull this out because we're not gonna wanna leave that in there.
If you wanna like, you could probably grab from just like right here.
We gotta now line everything up. I'm scared. This is very scary. We put a lot of work in and we don't want to crunch anything now and ruin all our hard work. So we gotta be careful. This is gonna be a slow-ish process.
Slow and steady.
That's what wins the race, I've heard.
Slow down. My heartbeat sound.
So guys, we're doing pretty well. Anybody got any gripes? One of mine is when people say, so that just happened, or if people put lotion next to soap in the bathroom and don't clearly mark it. Let's see how many.
We're in the final stage of reassembly, which on this is basically just plugging in and connecting a bunch of hoses and wires.
We're doing the last couple things in here to try to get this organized and back together. And then we gotta fill it with fluids and hope that it works. There's really no way to know. You gotta go through all this pain and suffering. I was trying to get one of these hose clamps on that sucks. And then we'll see. First things first, we're gonna fill this.
Rest in peace, Uncle Phil.
We're gonna fill this sucker with trans fluid, but I'm gonna make sure that that bolt is tight. Bro, this is the smelliest, worst stuff in the world. Fill it until it dribbles. It's hot.
You gotta really get your hands in there, bro.
The new one's different. Oh no. Now before we add any more fluid, because we're gonna need a lot more coolant for this thing, we have to bleed the system. That means the car needs to be running. Oh, it's sucking some coolant down right now. The car needs to be running, which is pretty scary because we don't know if it's gonna run. Before we fully turn it on, we're gonna disconnect the fuel pump and just spin the engine over, let it crank without starting. That way we'll build oil pressure, get oil on all the parts that we put back in, hopefully make sure they don't rub against each other. And then we'll plug the fuel pump back in and fire it up. I'm in the footwell of the Porsche because I am going right up here and pulling. You can see right there, that's missing. I believe that's the fuel pump relay. So when we start it, it will just crank and not turn over, which is good. That's what we want right now.
Oh my God, this is the most stressful moment of my life. Do it again. That sounds like a normal engine turning over. Alright, so now we crank the engine over. It sounds fine. We've built a little bit of oil pressure inside there. And now is the time when we actually fire it. 2 weeks of our lives and many thousands of dollars worth of parts could be worthless. Could have made the problem way worse. The engine could blow up. It could be completely mistimed. There's about 100 different things that could go wrong right now. My heart is genuinely racing. I'm not even like playing this up. My heart is racing right now. Y'all gonna have to excuse me. I'm gonna record this on my phone too.
I think that is good.
Hold on. Fire it up, brother. One more. Try again. What was that?
I don't know.
It revved up.
Ready?
Yeah.
Doing that on its own.
Revving to the max?
Yeah.
Why would that be? Yeah, the throttle isn't even closed fully. Try it again now. I'm gonna hold this closed. Dude, it sounds so good! Alright, let's turn it off. There's something wrong with the throttle cable, which sucks, but dude, not bad. It ran! Woo! Let's go! Alright, well that's good though. Dude, it ran fine.
No, it didn't sound bad at all.
It sounded...
Dude, that's crazy. Yeah, it seems pretty good.
Hey, bro.
Yeah, bro.
What the? Bro, we rebuilt the engine.
It's closer than it was. I freed it a little bit. I might just need to undo it from that clip. Come on.
Oh, brother. That's the sound of a healthy engine.
And it runs. I actually can't believe that this car is running after we've dissected and Will did a ton of the labor It was terrifying.
Yeah, I'm done.
But it does work. However, we're not done with this car. We still have a lot to do. I'm super excited though because this thing is coming back to life really well. But there's a couple finishing touches we want to do. So if you want to see those, subscribe. And if you like this video, watch one of these ones.